All right, y'all, we got the second video loaded up, man. History of LA Thieves, episode 1, the beginning. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Say hi to the YouTube if you are in the chat.
Most Call of Duty fans have.
I haven't seen this video, so
they have won multiple championships throughout their relatively short lifespan. One of those championships is the most sought after of them all, Champs. But if you're new to LA Thieves, you may not even know the rich history of the team and how it came to be. In order to really appreciate what they've built and accomplished, I'm going to take you back and help you experience what got them to where they are today. Back in 2016, 100 Thieves was founded by one of the biggest names to come out of Call of Duty esports. His name is Matthew Nadeshot Haig.
It's Nadeshot.
Nadeshot had played competitively on Optic Gaming for 5 years while simultaneously helping build the Optic brand.
YouTube, how the fuck you doing? Hey guys, Nadeshot today. I'm bringing a brand new video.
Wanna pet the cat?
Mike's already taken 4 bites, no bullshit.
But in 2015, he decided to step away from competing, and shortly after, he decided to move to LA, leaving Optic.
I am going to be taking a break from competitive Call of Duty.
That's where 100 Thieves comes in.
100 Thieves, 2 words, very easy to oversimplify, but for me, it has much more meaning than that.
Nadeshot decided he wanted to make his own team, and with a new season just beginning, he decided to make his move.
In the sense of just like, you know, existing and being a part of something, it's going to be my own organization. It's going to be my own team, my own like Call of Duty franchise, and whether...
When the opportunity arose, Nadeshot decided to pick up a team called King Pappy that had just qualified for the CWL Stage 2. The team had just beaten Team Caliber in the relegation tournament and needed an organization to represent them. They consisted of Royalty, Nelson, Examples, and Johnny. But shortly after picking up this team, Nadeshot decided to
replace a while ago, man.
Examples with Remy and Call of Duty veteran Aches. Despite this roster change before MLG Anaheim, the 100 Thieves team really struggled in group play, going 0-3, leading them to be in the losers bracket. Things didn't get any better after that. The Thieves ended up losing 3-0 to Cloud9 Eclipse in their only bracket play series, causing them to get 17th through 20th at Anaheim. This led everything to fall apart, with Nadeshot disbanding the roster and not fielding a new one.
For those who say that I turned my back on Call of Duty, I want you guys to know that 100 Thieves is going to have a Call of Duty team.
2 years later, now with a stronger foundation and more development of 100 Thieves, fans of Nadeshot and his org were shocked to hear that they will be coming back to Call of Duty for the Black Ops 4 season. At this point, the org had grown in popularity and could afford to field a new roster once again. With this opportunity opening up, Nadeshot and the Thieves decided to pick up Kenny and Pharaoh to kick off the roster. This was a great young core that had just placed second at Champs the year before. But with Call of Duty moving to 5v5 the coming season, Thieves needed 3 more to fill the roster. With those open spots, they targeted Octane next. Nicknamed the Human Turret, he was one of the best ARs in Call of Duty year in and year out. They finalized the roster by adding Slasher and Enable, 2 multiple-time champions that added some veteran leadership to a younger core. Enable had
Yo, Dell, if you need somebody else, you know, for graphics and stuff like that, I think I know somebody.
There was going to be extra chemistry going into the new season. With this new roster,
he goes by the name of Savage_TTG, you know, he's on Kick as well.
Piled onto one team. Once the season rolled around,
Bro doesn't even have an emblem.
Decent placings in CMG and MLG tournaments leading up to their first big tournament of the year, CWL's Las Vegas Open. Despite the high hopes, the Thieves made it out of group play and losers bracket. They went on to win their first match, but lost their second one against Luminosity to place top 12. The upside was they still made it to CWL Pro League qualifier, where they started off slow, but were able to bounce back and make it to top 2 in their pool, which automatically qualified them for the CWL. Despite
it's a pretty good team, man. Fuck.
There were still internal problems that weren't able to be fixed with their current roster.
We had a lot of role issues beforehand, and we had a lot of people doing what they didn't want to do. I had to switch roles, Austin switched roles, Kenny and Jay kept switching.
Because of this, 100 Thieves made a roster move that changed the course of 100 Thieves forever. The Thieves decided to move on from Pharaoh, moving him to a substitute role. With that, there was an empty roster spot that needed to be filled with just the right fit. Priesta of FaZe turned out to be the man for the job. With FaZe not qualifying for CWL, Priesta and Crowder were up for loan. Crowder, on the other hand, had decided to take on a coaching role, despite initially playing for FaZe. The Thieves took advantage of this and picked them both up before their league matches began. During the first split, the Thieves went 5-2 in league matches and earned themselves the top spot in their division. Despite the team's early struggles in hardpoint, the addition of Crowder really turned their game around, which was what led them to that 5-2 record going into CWL Fort Worth.
Things have not gone well for us, and all we can do day by day is try to improve. And I'm just hoping, I'm praying that things can start to come together and we see a different team on stage here very shortly in the future. But the future is now because we're in first place. We have gotten better. We're playing out of our minds right now.
The Thieves were the #1 seed going into the tournament, but managed to start in loser's bracket after going 2-1 in their pool play. Even though they had a winning record, they lost the tiebreakers that would have put them into winner's bracket. With the added pressure starting in loser's bracket, the Thieves went on to win their next 3 matches against E United, Denial, and Heretics, leading them to their first championship Sunday. Unfortunately, during their first series on Sunday, Priesta got sick on stage mid-series.
Take your time. Your health is more important than this tournament. No one on this team is going to care, you know that.
Forcing the Thieves to make a substitution.
That's pretty rare. That doesn't really happen
Rharbs was
ever.
brought back in to finish out the rest of the day.
But I guess it does
100 Thieves
happen.
went on to win that series before facing off against Reciprocity. Their momentum fizzled out there, falling 3-1 and being kicked out of the tournament by Reciprocity. While the Thieves started in loser's bracket, they were able to come out of Fort Worth with a respectable top 4 finish. Between CWL Fort Worth and CWL London, 100 Thieves faced off against some strong competition in their league matches. They were able to take down Reciprocity, who had just knocked them out of the previous tournament, as well as the new Gen G squad that was #1 in their division, and Optic. The win against Optic secured the #1 seed going into London. With that, the Thieves had to face off against Optic, Reciprocity, and E6 in their pool. Optic was the 3 seed in the same division as 100 Thieves, and Reciprocity and E6 were both low-ranked teams in their divisions.
Wow.
The Thieves were confident that this time they would make it out of their pool play in winner's bracket.
The
going
Poverty
against
Oaks.
each team in their pool before.
Going to London, my only hope for the team was a tournament victory. I really thought this was going to be the first one that we had the true potential to win. We were super confident going in. The team's been playing amazing, and we were expecting a win for sure.
They went on to do just that, only losing to Optic in their last pool play match. Because of their loss to Optic, 100 Thieves was given the 2 seed, which led them to face off against the new E United team that had just picked up the young talent Simp. The new addition didn't stun the Thieves, and they went on to win that series convincingly.
That's a fucked team too.
Their next
Wow.
match, on the other hand, was not so simple. They were taking on the 1 seed of their division, Gen G.
How do you feel overall about how the squad's doing?
Super confident with how the team's doing. They're playing really well today. This match is exciting for us. If they win, we're guaranteed top 3, and that'll be 100 Thieves' highest place in Call of Duty so far.
This match would guarantee the winner's top 3, and unfortunately the Thieves started off slow, conceding the first 2 maps.
Wait, they came back?
First thing I actually heard, other than a couple arguments going throughout the players, was Sam takes a big deep breath and he goes,
I refuse to lose this series. We're not losing to this.
The tides changed though after 100 Thieves won map 3. They went on to win the next 2 maps after that, winning the series and locking in a top 3 finish. Their next matchup was against the only team they had lost to throughout the tournament, Optic. This was winners finals, and 100 Thieves wasn't looking to lose to the same team twice. This was a huge match for more reasons than one. Not only would this secure them a spot in the grand final, but beating Optic was special. The team Nadeshot helped grow during his time competing was now facing off against his own organization for a spot in the grand finals. The players knew that they had to win not only for themselves, but for Nadeshot. And that's exactly what they did. They won the first map before they ended up losing the second. They battled back and forth in the third map, but were still able to close it out in a close finish. That momentum pushed them over the finish line, where they ended up winning
That's
map
pretty
4
fucking
and dropped
wild.
Optic to losers bracket. With their win against Optic, they only had one more hurdle preventing them from being first-time champions.
And this would have been what? Oh wait, E United won.
Thieves had a rematch with their first opponent, E United. E United had made an impressive losers bracket run and were looking solid, but this didn't change anything. In
They won the series.
100 Thieves went on to beat E United.
So this is losers? Oh, this is best of 5 grand finals. Okay, okay.
This was a huge moment for 100 Thieves. Their first full year in Call of Duty, and they had already won a championship and were looking like the best team in
That
the
roster is wild, I'm not gonna lie. It's fucking Slasher, Priesta, Kenny,
100 Thieves winning CWL
Octane, Enable, and Crowder as their coach. That's pretty...
CWL Anaheim.
That's
The
a
Thieves were
decorated
looking
roster
great
for
in the hard
sure.
points, but had struggled in their S&Ds in
I can
London.
see why they're struggling though.
Matches
They
were
don't have
when
anybody
started
with
showing some
pace.
improvements. They would often start off on the back foot though,
Or had
having to
anybody with
climb their
pace,
way
I should
back
say.
in order to close out the search. Their performances didn't let up after London until they faced United again. If 100 Thieves were to win that series, they would win the division and be granted the 2 seed going into Anaheim. Unfortunately, things didn't go to plan, with United sweeping the Thieves. In their next series, they barely pulled out a Map 5 win against a lesser E6 team. This led 100 Thieves to start in a fairly challenging pool with Gen G, Envy, and Illuminosity. 100
Oh,
Thieves
wow.
started to find their groove again though, only losing 1 map out of all 3 of their matches in pool play. They started off in winners round 1 against Elevate, where they looked like they did in London.
So I was definitely happy with our performance in pool play. We went 3-0, we only lost 1 map. It kind of set the tone for the rest of the event. So going into our round 1 matchup versus Elevate, I knew we would take that series pretty easily. You know, Elevate's a good team. I think they're actually underrated. They're a lot better than people think. But I mean, we're the best team in the game for a reason, so I knew we were going to have an easy matchup.
In a row. The war machine of Slasher ringing out, and that's dead, mate. It's a 3-1.
Well, Skies
Next match
was on
seemed
Elevate.
inevitable. These were set to take on Optic yet again.
The 2 best teams in the game. This is just gonna be a bang.
100 Thieves
Okay, so
started off
Optic
slow,
is
dropping
TJ,
map
Karma,
1, which was
Dashy,
very unlike
Scump,
themselves.
and
Map 2
who?
looked like a different team as well, with Kenny dropping 14 kills
Why
in
does
the
it
search,
keep tabbing me
leading
out
them
of
to a huge S&D win
the
to
fucking
tie the
browser?
series.
That's really annoying.
Like 14 kills in S&D, Gridlock, great map.
Then they went back to their normal selves, winning maps 3 and 4 to take down Optic once again. For the second event in a row, 100 Thieves made winners finals, taking on Gen G this time. It was too little too late for Gen G. 100 Thieves were on a roll and weren't going to let anyone stop them from going back to back. The Thieves took down Gen G convincingly in 3-0 fashion before they faced off against them again in grand finals.
Either way, I felt like we had it in the bag because I didn't think we were going to lose twice to anyone. But playing against Gen G, since we already played against them twice,
A young envoy.
beat them both times, I kind of had that feeling that we won before we even played the grand finals.
So far at CWL Anaheim, your defending champions, running up, it's 100 Thieves!
The outcome didn't change.
Okay, so it's Nagafin, Envoy, Major Maniac, Havoc, and who?
With the Thieves beating them for a 3rd time at that
Mops.
event alone. In back-to-back tournaments, 100 Thieves were grand champions, and they had quickly become the team to beat. With 100 Thieves winning the last 2 events, they became the favorites to take CWL Miami. They were trying to become the only team since the Complexity Dynasty to win back-to-back-to-back events.
Complexity is probably the only team you would say has like a 3-peat. Now you've got a chance to do it, which would put you in a very, very elite company. Does it put some added pressure on you headed into this weekend?
It's like every event, it's a clean slate. I just want to win this event. And then if I win it, great. And then the next event comes up, I just want to win that event.
The Thieves were confident coming back into Miami, winning their first series of the tournament. In winners round 2, they took on FaZe. FaZe came out with something to prove, upsetting the Thieves 3-0 early on in the tournament.
Oh, I want to see those rosters.
Upsetting the
Celium, Zuma, Zero, Asim, and Scraps.
Thieves 3-0 early on in the tournament. After the loss, the Thieves weren't looking quite like themselves. They scraped by in their series against EG, winning 3-2 before they played the inevitable yet again.
That's
Losers
EU
round
Scraps,
2,
by the way.
Thieves took on Optic, where they locked in.
Anybody
and
didn't
swept
see
them,
that?
knocking them out of the tournament. The Thieves went on to play Gen G next, where they battled back and forth throughout the series, taking it to a Game 5. In Game 5, the Thieves were down 5-3 when Mox of Gen G clutched a heartbreaking 1v3 to close out the series and knock out 100 Thieves, getting top 6.
Octane spots him. Octane spots him. He got it. He got a kill. He got the kill! It's do it!
Wait, what?
getting top 6.
It's a 3v1. There's 6.9 seconds left, and he's over halfway of defusing. Oh my fucking god. Bro.
After having a rough tournament in
Holy
Miami,
shit.
100 Thieves knew if they wanted to take a third tournament on the year and be champs winners, they were going to have a major bounce back. Going into pool play, the Thieves were looking solid, not losing a single series. To start off bracket play, the Thieves were set to face Luminosity. They had started off pretty flat, dropping the series 3-1.
It just seemed like our team was not awake. They weren't present. They came out super flat. We were losing gunfights. We were losing rotations in hardpoint that we normally don't. We just did not look like ourselves.
Luminosity iced up in Game 4, winning a close hardpoint that could have turned things around for Thieves. From there, the morale seemed low, knowing they had to face off against a solid FaZe roster and loses round 1.
Kenny with
Same
blonde
team that
hair?
just sent
What
them
the
to the loser
fuck?
bracket at the previous tournament. They started off slow, falling in the first 2 maps and being down 2-0 in the control. At the time, you would have never guessed it, but this was the start of one of the greatest comebacks in Call of Duty history.
Oh, do they win this?
Somehow I slid in Sushi, killed Asim, and then there was only one person on the hill, and I knew how to push him because if I got that kill, then we just captured the point.
Just me or does bro not age?
Thieves went on to reverse sweep the control and then the series. Not without some tensions though. Octane had a huge 1v3 in map 5 to keep the Thieves' confidence rolling.
Oh, does he kill somebody with that nade? Oh my god. Oh my god. He knows he's going for the wrap.
He's gonna wrap it around. Does he get the read? Here comes Zero. 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Oh my god.
After that series, the Thieves went on to beat their next 4 opponents in dominant fashion, either winning the series 3-1 or 3-0. This brought them all the way to losers finals, where they were set to take on the Green Wall once again. At this point in the tournament, the Thieves' momentum was too much for Optic, taking them down in a convincing 3-0 fashion, getting them to the grand finals once again.
And gentlemen, it all comes down to this.
United was the team sitting and waiting for the Thieves on the other side of the stage. With the Thieves coming into the grand finals from losers bracket, they would have to win 2 series in order to be crowned world champions. 100 Thieves started off slow, dropping the map 1 hardpoint, but their confidence didn't waver. They went on to win the next 2 maps, only being 1 map away from getting a series reset. Unfortunately, United had other plans.
Damn. I was very close too.
This, unfortunately, was where the Thieves
It's a ridiculous roster.
United closed out the series, winning the Game 5.
BZ Simp, Arcides, Clayster, and who? Who? Pristini? That's fucked.
After such an insane run, 100 Thieves finished in 2nd place at Champs. A major accomplishment that felt difficult to accept, knowing how close they were to taking everything for themselves in only their first full year in Call of Duty. After some time, the Thieves team was able to really appreciate all they had accomplished. They went from struggling at the start of the year to being one of 2 teams to win back-to-back tournaments and were runners-up at Champs despite having to practically start in losers bracket. The team had brought the 100 Thieves organization their first championship ever, and that was something to be proud of. Kenny, Octane, Slasher, Enable, Priesta, and Crowder cemented themselves in the 100 Thieves history books in just 1 year. In the offseason, Call of Duty announced that they would be changing from the Call of Duty World League, otherwise known as CWL, to the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League, or CDL, was going to require a major buy-in in order to be a part of the league. Unfortunately, the Thieves were not in a position to buy in. Nadeshot came out and announced that they would not be continuing their Call of Duty journey, and that the roster would be forced to split up.
100 Thieves will not be a part of competitive Call of Duty next year. We will not be a part of the CDL. We will not have a team competing for our brand. And I wouldn't say this is the end of my participation, 100 Thieves participation in Call of Duty, but we will not be fielding a roster. Activision has decided to franchise, and obviously there are a lot of costs that come with that.
This really hurt fans of 100 Thieves, knowing they would not have a team in Call of Duty for the foreseeable future, especially after all they had just accomplished. Although we didn't know it at the time, this was just the beginning of 100 Thieves' Call of Duty story.
That was a good video. There's a lot of shit in there of a lot of shit I didn't know. That was a good video. GG's. Wow, that was a 19-20 minute video. Damn. Sure to like, comment, and subscribe on that one, though.